everybody. It's Tim and Nancy Danter. How are you? I guess we could go da 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 da, but it's not Crypto Night in Canada. We do not have our Oracle. No, we do not have our guru, but we do have the freaking Oracle. Or maybe not. I don't know.
He's currently draped in suspense.
Yeah, there he is.
Let me get a coffee. I need a coffee.
He's on mute again.
Oh, he's getting coffee. We got Gary's in the house and Marie Claude and Create, Save, and Invest. Hello. I don't know whether Candace is watching from her sick bed, but she is still not feeling that great. So we are hoping.
Well, if that's her sick bed, where does she normally sleep when she's well?
In her well bed. Her sick bed and her well bed. So, Candace, if you're watching tonight, I wish you all a speedy recovery, and we look forward to chatting with you next week. And so this is kind of a free-for-all. I don't even know what we're going to talk about tonight, but maybe Ken's got some.
So I got something here. I know no one from Oakville here watches, so I'm safe in saying this, but there is some of the dumbest ass stuff that comes on Facebook. I'm not going to name this just in case, but I belong to a group. It's a male only group. It's a gentleman only group. And some of the posts you get in here are just like, it makes you scratch your head. So here's one. It says, and this was done an hour ago. It says, "Dads, please help. Serious stuff here. Can anyone recommend a premium toilet paper? Because I'm getting rubbed the wrong way these days. Thanks for your valuable skin-saving input. Please be kind and enjoy." Okay,
Okay, wait, go down, scroll down and tell us what. Oh my God, somebody's put leaves. Oh boy. Was there any, what were the comments? Let's see what the comments were.
No.
Look, click
Well,
there. What were the
just our internet might be.
Oh, they were suggesting
rinse works.
They were suggesting bidet attachments.
The hand, that's not for men.
That's a bidet attachment. What else was there?
Sandpaper.
Boy, women would actually give women good tips. You men are giving really yucky tips here.
Well, we're trying to clean the tips.
Oh my Lord. Oh my good Lord. We have gone to a very, very bad place. Oh, look, it's like Bonnie's in the house and Muggsy McMullen. How is everybody? Tim Danter's being weird to start the night. Is everybody in icy conditions? I know, Ken, you're in icy conditions.
Oh, yeah. Very icy.
What's the weather?
Ice.
Are we ice all the way up to Ottawa area?
I have no idea. I came through Brantford, Hamilton on the way home, and it was rain.
Nothing?
It was
Just
rain,
rain?
and I came down Bronte Road here, and it was like, what in God's name am I driving into? And it's just, the wind is coming. Usually it crosses our property. This time it's straight on the house from the lake, and it's like, okay, that's not good.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Redbeard's in the
3.3
house.
hours to get home.
Oh my gosh. Gary, that's horrible.
For a 45-minute drive. Well, next time use GPS and don't go the wrong way.
I do have something to talk about tonight. I was reading in the Morning Brew today that Bitcoin has had the Golden Cross.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that is? What that stands for, Ken?
No, I seen the post, but I didn't read about it.
Oh no, it was you posted about the Golden Cross. It wasn't on the Morning Brew. You posted it in the Facebook group this morning about the Golden Cross. Let me just pull it up and see what that is.
You don't think I actually read that stuff when I post it, do you?
I do actually think you read it. You don't read it?
The title looks good, so you just send it.
It was colorful.
Oh, hell. I think you read these things. Crypto market analysis. Bitcoin breaches rare Golden Cross threshold. So this was CoinDesk's article. It talks about Bitcoin breached a rare golden cross over the weekend, a bullish signal that typically foreshadows short-term gains. Prices have increased 1% since the latest cross occurred. A golden cross occurs when the 50-day moving average for an asset crosses above the 200-day moving average. Bitcoin's latest cross occurred on February 18th. Bitcoin has seen only 6 other crosses since 2015. The most recent prior to this latest cross was on August 14th, 2021. A cross reflects BTC's exponential moving average and not the simple moving average. I don't know. Investors opt for one or the other depending on their personal preferences. So the potential prices initially declined 5.7% in the next 2 consecutive days, but have since rebounded 13%, calculating out to 6.6% increase. So, is this a good thing?
I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of speculation out there that there's going to be some kind of an event that happens and Bitcoin's going to go back down.
Could be.
That's the first thing.
I've stopped trying to guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you can't predict people that have invested and gotten out that they're going to get back in. Right? So
Nope, they're saying that the next threshold will be 26,500. Do we know what it closed at today?
24 something, wasn't it?
I don't know. Let me just have a look-a-loo.
It's interesting. It's interesting to see all this because I'm using CoinLee again this year for my income tax because I claimed it last year and stuff like that. But I've got a net loss this year, obviously. But it's interesting when I go back because there's still some tidy up stuff that CoinLee I've got to get done in CoinLee because it's acknowledging my fiat when I had taken my fiat and converted it into XRP. So I've got, it's like showing me twice as much as I should have there, right? But it's quite interesting when you start going through your wallets and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, that's what I bought it at. Oh, that's what I bought this at, and it's like, that's not what it's at.
Now. Say the name of that program again that you're using.
CoinLee.
LEE or CoinLY?
No, it's not a fighter. It's Coin. KOINLEY.
Yeah, that you needed to spell that out, friend. I would not have guessed that that's how you would spell that. KOINLEY.
I know. We would have been going down in the waiting room, Mr. CoinLee.
Anyways, so we use that program to put all of our crypto holdings in, and you used it.
No, it's the program that calculates. It automatically you use your APIs and you connect it to this program that gets all of it syncs every day, and it'll keep a track of your cost averaging and your net gains, your net losses, and stuff like that. And then when it comes to tax time, I think it's I don't know if it's a form T3 or something like that, but it pops out this Canadian government form, and I showed it to the accountant last year and she just loved it. So but yeah, I mean my holdings last year I think were 120, and I think they're like 73 this year.
Yeah, I think crypto.com has something like that for Canadians now too.
Well, Coin Tracker does too.
Yeah.
So what we're hoping,
there's a charge, and I know Jason Spooner. I think Jason Spooner uses it too.
Well, last year, you had to declare a gain on all of our holdings,
but that was based on 2020,
right? But
21.
We'll be able to declare a loss this year against our income, because if they made us declare the gain last year, they're sure as hell going to let us claim the loss.
Yeah.
That's the one thing about crypto. So if it's down, you can harvest some of the losses.
And I tell you, I know, Ken, you're tracking all these coins. This what's the one? The
EtherTech, yeah.
EtherTech, yeah. And I'm getting information, and I know in Ontario here we can't use Binance, but now Binance is kind of throwing out stuff there for XRP staking, and it's like, I am not taking my bag of XRP and staking anything on anywhere in that type of amount, because I know sure as anything, my luck is I'll get rug pulled. I'm not
Well,
doing it.
if it's on Binance, like, are we able to use Binance in
Not in
Ontario?
Ontario.
Right.
Now,
So
I don't know if we can use it if we have a VPN. That I don't know. But if it's got KY,
yeah, I think you're allowed a certain amount in and out when you're not KYC'd. I think they restrict that big time.
Hmm.
But that's the way they were going when they were first doing the whole KYC thing.
yeah,
I haven't been on since, so I'm not sure whether they are strict on the KYC now or whether
Well,
it's
I'm actually
Marie Claude is saying yes with the VPN you can.
I'm actually rather surprised that Binance is still around, because I thought when all
Of
these what
course.
well no, but
they're
I
number
thought
one.
when BlockFi was going down and
They weren't lending any of your funds out though. It's an exchange. Everything stayed on it.
yeah, well,
They don't lend out your funds.
There was something to that, Tim. I think we heard that through one of the guys we were watching. Kevin Cage was maybe talking about that. Anyhow.
Everything else, they were lending platforms, Celsius and everything. You were staking your stuff there. It's just like a bank, right? You give them your stuff. Well, they're going to take a portion of your stuff
right.
and lend it out to somebody else. At Binance is an exchange, is totally different. The only tricky thing with Binance was the longs and shorts. That's what crippled it for Ontario.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah,
Hmm.
Mary
But
Claude
if you
says
if you really want to know what Bitcoin's doing, though, that's what you got to do is look at the longs and shorts.
Hmm.
I'll leave
They'll
that
set
to
it.
Len and Joey. They're the experts in that area.
Mhm.
They're the experts. I just I have too much else going on right now. I haven't. I looked at that and it was like I looked at all the wallets that I have, and I've still got. Oh, what have I got? So I've got some Celsius. I've got some ADA. I
Do
mean,
you really?
minimal amounts. And I look. Oh my God! I looked at my Omi.
Don't look at Omi.
Look
Oh,
at Omi, man.
oh, no
It's a
kidding.
write off to me. Omi is a write off at this point.
No kidding. I looked at it and went, oh, I just lost.
No, we all agreed that there will be some that we're going to lose on. That's the same as it was in the .com bubble.
Lost 75%.
Yeah, but you don't know. That may come back. Just like
It may.
Nortel, we sat on Nortel and we followed it right all the way down to the very bottom when Nortel was really in the
We
.com.
never got the call on that.
We still probably have it someplace. I don't know if
No.
Nortel exists.
No idea.
So what's going on in your world, Ken?
Not much at all. Just cryptoing.
Yeah, are you working the same as you work in the summertime, or is it slower for you?
Oh, it's slower. It's slower. However, my routes are still quite the distance of driving.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't wait for the overtime. That's all I can say. I can't wait for the overtime.
That's summertime, right?
Yep. And my manager told me that I might get a brand new truck in 2 weeks instead of in May. So,
What are you going to get?
a 2022 Dodge, I think it is.
Ah.
The last one we got, it still had the plastic wrap on the seats. That's how new it was.
Well, there's a reason there's plastic wrap on the seat.
Ew.
I'm just saying, it's health and safety. You know, there's a reason why it looks like a Paisanomobile.
So far, you've talked about toities twice tonight. Toilet paper, and now this.
Listen,
It was inevitable from my
Yeah,
end.
Ken doesn't. He talks about toilets all day long. He doesn't want to talk about it on his off time.
Whatever, man.
Okay, so last week we had that lively discussion with Tim Perry. Did everybody go home going, oh my God, that they've gone down bad rabbit holes here?
That was a good discussion.
Was a good discussion.
there's a lot. I'm seeing a lot with, or I get these publications that come in, and I I mean, it's like me posting stuff on Crypto Night. I don't read half of them. I just post it. But anyway, um, it seems that there's this one publication that is right on the heels of the Trudeau government. And now what they're bringing in, and I've seen it in a couple of times today in different things about how China is funding the Liberals here in Canada. And I thought, where do people come up with this kind of stuff? Like,
Do we think that it would be a true thing? Like, why would they? What would be their rationale? Because
well, okay, so there's
because do they think that China's funding them so they can buy more of our natural resources? Is that what you're
well,
thinking?
they got oil sands, and they've been able to do deals with what's that, ASEAN, which is the what's that big? It's a big construction company, ASEAN, that I think China was allowed to purchase, right? And do we believe them? Well, let me ask you the question of, do we believe what we see on CTV, Global News, and the National?
We don't watch those.
You understand where I'm going with that, though. I mean, we only believe what we're believing. And what is this with CNN having what's his name?
Anderson Cooper?
No, one of the other top guys having to apologize for his comments about, or was it on Fox News? Someone on Fox, was it Fox?
It was on one of them. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, so you did see it, yeah, and they're apologizing because they just ripped someone a big new one, right?
They suspended him for a week and they replaced him with some chick. So they just decided, you know what, you're suspended for a week. You need to apologize, and then you're back on.
I mean, what, and yet, and then we will lose someone like what was her name, Lisa
LaFlemme,
and then we'll lose someone like her over more serious things. It's like Don Lemon. Thank you very much, Dan. Yes, you're absolutely right.
And Sherab said the same thing, and Marie Claude.
No, Sherab said, "Hey, gang." Oh, no. Further down, he said Don Lemon. Yes. I don't get it. I don't know what this world's coming to. We have the election in 2024 for the U.S.
Yeah.
And I mean, Biden making a surprise visit over to the Ukraine, and I'm surprised he came back. He wasn't shot down. I don't get it.
Well, it's kind of funny though, because there's been no air raid sounds for like a week. He goes over there and all of a sudden there's an air raid sound, and then he leaves and there's no more air raid sounds again. So kind of interesting.
I don't understand where everyone and all these governments get all this money from.
They're making it.
Oh wait. Us.
Well, they're borrowing it.
Yeah, they're borrowing it against our retirement funds. They're borrowing it against everything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. I don't mean to be cruel, but when do we stop and where do we stop?
You can't stop.
Right.
Because from what I'm seeing, if Ukraine falls, Poland's next, which is a NATO country, so we'll be looking at nuclear fallout. So we can't stop. But then again, if you think about it, what is the difference between what Russia's doing right now and the Cuba Missile Crisis? The U.S. did what they did because they had missiles that could hit right next door.
Yeah.
So Russia's doing this to stop NATO from being so close to knocking on the door. So really, if you think about it that way, how is this really any different?
You know what scares me is how other things have gone silent. Like, we don't hear about the Taliban anymore. We don't hear about any of that over there anymore. And it's like, wait a minute, where did all the ISIS and everything go?
They're not causing ruckus right now. That's why.
Well, or they're in cahoots.
Or that, yeah.
I don't know. That's how stories start. That's how rumors start.
How
Well,
did we
yeah,
get to ISIS?
it's like
Well, the weather.
it's like the train derailment that happened in Ohio.
Oh, ridiculous.
Not too many people heard about it because everybody was too busy looking up at the freaking balloons in the sky, right? And then a week later, after that debacle's down, it's like, oh my God, did you hear? A week ago, it crashed, and they decided, well, the best way to contain it is to set it on fire.
Well,
So
now they're
Did you
saying
see?
that they're watching the environmental impact up here in Canada
Yeah.
because they're worried that we're going to have some problems. And guess what's right along the border of the U.S. coming in is our major growing region, which is Leamington. Like,
Boy, are we going to have big tomatoes?
Special kind of tomatoes.
Those beans are going to be extra spicy.
Yeah.
I don't. And there was a shot from what was it? Whatever one of the space labs or whatever it is up in orbit, and it showed the smoke and how big the smoke was from the explosion and everything that was going on. It was It's absolutely horrible, absolutely horrible. And now they're making whatever train company clean it up. Well, that bloody train company's going to go bankrupt, and then you're going to be back in the same boat.
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So Redbeard says, I love it.
Dan.
Well, Redbeard Dan says, we have to, I can't even read this. These glasses, I keep going on and off and on and on. We have it so twisted in the West. The U.S. are the biggest terrorists out there. Russia and China are just the latest boogeymen. Oh, look it. It's your puppy. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
it's
so.
Crazy.
Dan. I mean,
it's crazy. What's everybody doing tonight? Those that are watching, what are you all doing tonight outside of watching us? Ken's petting his dog. Like, it's cold and freezing outside. I'm assuming there's a lot of people just watching TV or watching YouTube or, relaxing with their feet up in front of the fire if you've got a fire. What do you all do on a snowstormy night? Everybody thought it was spring too, up until a couple of days ago. People were out in their shorts walking along the lake on Sunday in the sunshine. It's crazy. It's freezing.
I thought we were done with it all. I was like, okay, I could take like a couple of cold days, but what the hell's this freaking ice shit? We should be past that now.
The percentage of frozen water on the Great Lakes is the lowest it's been in decades, and the fact that the Rideau Canal never opened up for business. First time in history, wasn't it?
Yeah.
First time in history. What's that telling you? It's just telling you. I mean, this is
global warming is a real thing. Goes back to when we had Chris Dancy on and we were talking about where are the two most advantageous places to live in the world in the future. One was in Norway, the other one was in Winnipeg, or in near the Winnipeg region in Manitoba, for the fresh water that's there and how it's situated on the earth, because it's going to be a climate that's going to be enjoyable to live in. You watch. It'd be fun to do tonight. Why don't you throw the link out there and let anybody who wants to pop on. Ken's not the only one that can play at this game. Cold, snowy. Maybe there'll be some people that want to come on and chat with us tonight. We don't have
Chili Dog will come on. Come on, Chili Dog. I know you'll come on.
So Tim's going to copy the link and he'll put it in the chat.
And there are rules.
And no swearing. No, I'm just kidding. We swear.
No bombing of anything.
No bombing.
Chili Dog can tell us.
Bombing.
He can tell us all about Home Depot.
Oh yeah, sure.
He can tell us all about Home Depot.
I don't know. I can't hear you and I can't see you. I feel like I'm sitting here talking to the.
Can't see who?
I think my contacts.
You put them in backwards again?
No, like if I pull it out like this and I look through it, this is perfect.
Well, do you think it might be the strength of your readers?
No, it's the distance I'm sitting from here. I can't get. Usually when I'm at work, I'm sitting up like this so I can see this perfect. But now you're not in the view. And there, of course, we have the dog who sits beside us. Anyways, so if you feel like coming on tonight, we have nothing really riveting to talk about.
we had straws, we'd be grasping at them.
Oh gosh. Les, Ken, you've got something riveting to talk about. What do you want to
Hey,
talk
what's
about?
Andrew up to?
Yeah. Where's our buddy Andrew?
I have no idea. He's not working, as far as I know. So
Have you even heard anything from the guy?
not even a whisper, man.
Uh-oh.
Nothing
Is
on
that good
Facebook.
news or bad news?
I don't know.
Maybe he's out conquering the world.
He probably took a whole bunch of shrooms and got lost.
That was one hell of a spaghetti sauce, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man. How was your weekend last weekend? You had a good family day weekend or no?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I was really busy though because I'm watching crypto projects, right? So there's supposed to be another project launched. They launched it. There was something wrong with the taxing in the gas fee or something. I ended up getting tokens, plus I got Ethereum back as well. So they pulled the contract. They're going to redo the contract, drop everybody. They're going to do an airdrop of the same amount of tokens that everybody had. But we're just waiting. We're just playing the waiting game now. So
Interesting.
And that's Tim Perry who knows Neil. Because we asked about Neil, didn't we? How he was doing with the horses and stuff.
yeah.
Horses, you know.
I like the horses. I can tell you, I read a news article. Just give me 1 sec. I will pull it up. I read the Morning Brew. For those of you that have ever heard of the Morning Brew, it's really great. It gives you little snippets of really good information. So the excuse me. The one that was on there this morning was the Supreme Court doesn't want to break the internet. So the Supreme Court heard oral arguments yesterday in a case with the potential to upend the internet, but it looks like the justices would prefer not to. The suit pits Google against the family members of a young woman killed in a terrorist attack who maintain that YouTube should be held responsible for its algorithm recommending ISIS recruitment videos. The case has all of Silicon Valley nervous because it asked the court to consider the scope of Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act of 1996, the law that protects big tech from liability over users' posts, the law that's even been called the Magna Carta of the internet. And the reason that this is so big, this is such a big deal. Think about it this way without me reading it. The reason this is such a big deal is that can you imagine if they had to go through and they would be censoring absolutely every piece of content that's being put up? I'm sure we wouldn't make it.
What compared to censoring nothing on the news today?
Well, it says, given Section 230's Atlas-like role in holding up the internet, there's real concern that the not-so-tech-savvy Supreme Court, which has never weighed in on Section 230 before, could issue a ruling with explosive, unintended consequences. Google's lawyers claim that a ruling against the company would turn the web into the Truman Show versus a horror show, since companies would have to curate content until it's as bland as white bread and mayo sandwich or stop moderating it all. Could you imagine that?
Well, a lot of it's left up to users to report as well, right? You've got your algorithm that goes through and catches certain keywords or key phrases or sentences. Then the rest is basically up to the user to be like, oh, that's bullying. I'm going to report it, like what happened to my stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a 50-50. It'd be interesting to see that go to court, though. And yeah, that would be really interesting.
I think it's a matter of, I think it gets to a point with the people who police YouTube as to, okay, yeah, we're getting close to the line, but we're making money off the hits, or we're bringing in viewers, or we're doing. I give you an example of like animals eating and attacking another animal, like a lion attacking a poor dog, and you hear the dog yelping, And there's stuff that's still on YouTube that'll pop up every once in a while, and it's someone doing something really nasty, abusive to animals, and it's like,
Right.
why would you show Why would you show a cow trying to get out of a whatever it is, a trough at a kill zone, and then show them boom on the head and kill the cow? Like what?
It's educational though, right?
It's crap.
Technically,
That's
technically,
crap.
it's educational.
It
So
what's educational
Did I
about it?
talking? It is kind of educational. Did
It's
I?
not educational.
Did I
When they
ever?
show the listen, no. When they show the cow trying to jump out of this trough and trying to fight for its life, and then all of a sudden the guy comes along and he's just hovering over him and following him until there's an opportune time. That crosses the line, in my
Well,
opinion.
no, because they've got to hit it in the right spot.
But they don't have to show the poor thing trying to get out and struggle to get out for its life.
no, but
That's beyond.
that's that's how it is though, Tim. It's like
No,
if
no,
you're
I
going to show
understand that.
if you're going to show a video of a lion chasing its prey, you're not going to show the video of the lion chasing the prey and then you're going to show the lion burping afterwards, right? It's natural. It's the way
Well, lions
slaughterhouses
don't burp.
work. No, but it's the way slaughterhouses work, right? So
Yeah.
that kind of stuff should always be flagged that you have to agree to watch it. It shouldn't just pop up and play though.
Right.
Like
Did
on
I ever?
Facebook, it on Facebook it says unhide or something like that when something like that comes up.
Yep. Yep.
Did I ever tell you the funny story about my? I knew it would happen to me because I'm in food service, and they harvest all kinds of things in food, not just things that you pull out of the ground. They harvest animals too, right? And so I was at a maple leaf symposium, and it finally happened. I had to watch the process for hogs as they move all the way through the building till the final moment, the final countdown. And it was actually one of the most humane things I've seen. I wasn't sure how it was going to be. I literally was watching it like this, like I wasn't sure that I was going to like to see what I saw. But I will give Maple Leaf credit because what they did was they hired a famous doctor. Her name is Temple Grandin. She's on the autism spectrum, and she went through their facility and she crawled around as if she was a hog, and she was experiencing their facility from their level. And she came up with all these amazing suggestions to make their final hours really quite calm and humane and all that sort of stuff. And like they feed them just before they're slaughtered, and they're all calm. They get a good night's sleep beforehand. They've got music playing that's calming. They put the colors in the room are calming. Everything's calming. And then because see, hogs are smart. Hogs are smart. Of the two, between steer and hogs are smart. So you have to keep them all calm. If one of them so much as gets kind of crazy, then they will literally all fall apart. And then what ends up happening, they go through the gate and the door is shut behind them, so that the guys behind don't have a clue what's going on. And they are stunned, like instantaneously stunned. So they're practically asleep, and they go down a conveyor belt. They're tied up and their throat is slit really fast. And I thought to myself, God, if I have to go, that's the way to go. It was very, very zippity doodah. And they're not stressed out about it near the end. Like I was panicked. I was thinking I was going to see animals trying to escape like you're talking about. And I don't even know what I thought I was going to see.
Banjos?
But I was really happy. When I saw it, I thought, well, that was a very humane way to do it.
There's hey Philly.
Hey everybody.
There's actually, I was hearing on the radio this morning, there's actually something called super pigs. And it's domesticated pigs that have escaped from farms and they've actually breeded with wild boars. And they've destroyed over $1 billion worth of crops. I can't remember where they said it was, but if you Google it, you'll get all the information about it. Yeah.
It's in the field.
It's called super pigs?
Yeah, and they're really smart. So hunters go out during the day to hunt them. So now they've become nocturnal, so it's harder to hunt them.
I hear there are a lot of them in Ohio.
Yeah, there are some actually. But there are a few states though. It's a big game. They guys can shoot as many as they want.
Well, there used to be TV shows on about that.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Was mostly down in Texas and stuff like
yes,
that.
right.
So Phil, you're down in Ohio. What are you hearing about the debacle down there?
Very little.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
How close are you to where the derailment happened?
I'm not exactly sure how many miles it is. It's to the kind of southeast of me, probably 40 to 60 miles.
Still close.
Oh yeah, it's close. I mean, we are like right on the border of where the watershed danger line is. So yeah.
Are you on municipal or well?
We're on well.
Oh no.
Yeah, but we are, luckily, I think we're far enough west of it, so we don't really have.
Oh man, Phil, we got our fingers crossed for you.
Yeah, I can't believe just a freaking train and it caused that kind of damage. And now they're saying it's affecting over in England.
What do you mean?
From the cloud?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they said that, I guess.
That acid rain, I guess.
Yeah.
I've had to go across the US and Canada to get to
England.
the
ocean.
Yeah. And they're saying they're finding strange coatings on their cars and all kinds of crazy crap.
That's so sad.
Who knows? Yeah, it's nuts.
So was it in a valley or was it on flat land? Like, I don't know the geography there.
I'm not exactly sure. It's from what I can recall, it's close to the river. So
oh Jesus.
Yeah.
What river? Yeah. It's like a main river?
The Ohio River.
Oh shite.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep.
There's no stopping that.
No. Hey, I did find Ken's article about the incredibly intelligent, highly elusive U.S. faces new threat from Canadian super pig. Ken was not wrong about this. It said, for decades, wild pigs have been antagonizing flora and fauna in the U.S., gobbling up crops, spreading disease, and even killing deer and elk. My God, killing deer and elk?
Who's flora and fauna?
Who
killing deer?
Now, as fears over the potential of the pig impact in the U.S. grow, North America is also facing a new swine-related threat as the Canadian super pig, a giant, incredibly intelligent, highly elusive beast capable of surviving cold climates by tunneling under snow, is poised to infiltrate the north of the country. The emergence of the so-called super pig, a result of crossbreeding domestic pigs with wild boars, only adds to the problem the U.S. faces from the swine invasion. Pigs are not native to the U.S., but have wrought havoc in recent decades. The government estimates the country's approximately 6 million wild or feral pigs cause $1.5 billion of damage each year. In parts of the country, the pigs' prevalence has sparked a whole hog hunting industry where people pay thousands of dollars to mow down boar and sows with machine guns.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
but overall, the impact of the pig's first introduction to the U.S. in the 16th century has very much been negative, as the indiscerning swine has chomped its way across the country. We see direct competition for our native species for food. Oh my God. However, pigs are also accomplished predators. They're opportunistically come upon a hidden animal, and the males have long tusks, so they're capable of running and grabbing one with their mouth. They kill young fawns. They're known to be nest predators, so they impact turkeys and potentially quails. The wild pigs are also responsible for a laundry list of environmental damages, ranging from eating innocent farmers' crops to destroying trees and polluting water. They are poised a human health and safety risk. This is craziness. A pig is a mixing vessel capable of carrying viruses such as flu, which are transmittable to humans. And National Geographic reported that pigs have the potential to create a novel influenza virus, novel influenza virus. which could spread to humankind. The first records of pigs in the continental U.S. was in 1539 when the Spanish explorer, they landed in Florida with an entourage that included 13 swines. 13 swines makes
Wow.
6 million swines over. This is crazy. And there's no real way to get rid of them. This is insane.
No, and since they're part domestic, they'll eat anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Oh yeah.
Remember that show there with that Hannibal Lecter movie where the pigs were eating the people, and
Oh yeah.
they will mow you down and they will eat you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I-
They
And they're 300-400 pounds. These damn things.
How much?
Good luck.
300 to 400 pounds.
Good.
Okay, so remember George Orwell's book called The Animal Farm, where the pigs kind of take over? Maybe this is what's happening. The pigs are about to take over. But apparently the animals are now spread across 1 million square kilometers of Canada, predominantly in Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. And it says wild pigs are easily the worst invasive large mammal on the planet. And they're incredibly intelligent. They're highly elusive. And also when there are pressures on them, especially if people start hunting them, they become almost completely nocturnal. As Ken, you really did a good job summarizing this article. You covered all the points. And they become very elusive, hiding in forest cover, and they disappear into wetlands, and they can be very hard to locate. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to say. The pigs escaped captivity and swiftly spread across Canada. Yeah, you're right. 300 kilograms. One pig, not 300 pounds, 300 kilos. That's 661 pounds.
Yeah,
Makes it able to survive the frigid Western Canadian temperatures.
Can we eat them?
Where the wind chill could be 5. I'm sure you can, just like buffalo and bison.
Yeah. Just a wild pig. It's like a boar, right? Just smarter and bigger.
Yeah.
Have you ever had boar, Ken? Phil?
Boar? No, I've never had boar.
It just tastes like pig, quite frankly. I don't think it tasted.
You've had boar?
Wild boar. Yes, I've had wild boar. I sell food for a living. What do you think? I've eaten seal meat.
Well, I drive for a living and I don't drink and drive. I mean, Jesus, criminy. You know.
I don't know. So what are we going to do about this pig problem? Now you've got me all. Now I feel like now we got to be on a mission to get these pigs.
There's no bacon. There's no bacon shortage. See, you just got to go find one, and you're good to go.
That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, 600-pound pigs. How much are domestic pigs normally? I feel
Well,
I now
not that
feel.
much.
No, well, let me
that's
find
going to make
out.
a dent in your car.
My brother worked on a pig farm. They're very aggressive. Pigs are very aggressive.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, and that's when they're penned up. If they're out in the wild, they're probably even more aggressive because they're fighting for survival and food, right?
I actually had a client who he was a young guy, and his parents, the farms were in his family for I think 4 or 5 generations, and they own 2 pig farms. It's quite a lucrative business, believe it or not.
Okay, guess what? Average size pigs. I googled it. 50 to 350 kilos. So that's 110 to
that's 770
pounds. So
my God.
those wild ones are no greater than the. I was beginning to believe they were like the size of a water buffalo.
Not that big. Not that big.
Well,
that's a lot of meat coming at you.
If you can bag one, that's a lot of meat, man.
Right. So
angry piece of meat.
If we end up having to go into survival mode, maybe what we need to all do is have, maybe we absolutely need to have machetes so that we can go out and get ourselves some wild hog.
Do you know how to kill a hog?
They're killing them wait a minute. The article said they're mowing them down with machine guns, and you want to go with a machete.
All I'm saying is if we were in the end of times, and you could only take so much stuff with you, maybe you'd want some kind of a machete.
How about I give you a spoon to go after one, and we'll just sit back and laugh.
I'm going to hit him with my banjo.
Go play him a lullaby. He'll fall asleep, he'll be peaceful, and crack him in the head with a brick.
Yeah, you just talked him for a minute.
Well, okay, so at the end of time, if we were in the end of days, a gun might not do you any good unless you had unlimited ammunition, but a machete could last you forever if you took care of it.
How are you going to sharpen it?
Wouldn't you do it on a rock of some sort?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Well, I tell you what, I
better
know.
off with spears so that you have distance. Because you
Yeah.
can throw a spear and run.
I can't even touch a fish or gut a fish, let alone.
I think you would, though, eventually.
I guess it was life and death. I would, yeah.
Look at the soccer team that crashed in the Chile mountains, right?
Yeah.
Gotta eat.
Well, all they have
Donner
to do,
party of 4.
they'd have to go and find some wild boar.
Right.
So now what you're going to see probably in the news, and it's happening locally here, is the stand your ground law.
What does that mean?
Anyone?
That's starting in Canada.
Well, hang on. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I know what it is here.
Okay. What is? Ken, you have any idea what stand your ground is? I've got that correct, right, Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was who was that? What was the Florida one where it was stand your ground? That young black kid. Wasn't it stand your ground on that too? Where he got murdered. Anyway, stand your ground is a. You're gonna have to help me out here, Phil. Is you tell what your understanding is of stand your ground?
That you're able to defend your property and you can use lethal force
With a gun.
Yeah.
So over the weekend up in Milton, it's too bad Gary isn't on here. A home got invaded by 2 or 3 people. One was wielding a gun. The 22-year-old, and they were going at the kid's mother, right, going after her and stuff like this. It was a home invasion.
Mhm.
I pulled out a gun and he shot one dead. Now he's being charged with, and he had a permit for the gun.
Oh wow.
This is a tight gun law.
So now what they're saying is that this could be Canada's first case of testing the stand your ground law.
Wow.
Can you imagine if this becomes precedent? Can you imagine how that's going to change?
If you have a firearm in your house
in Canada,
yeah, if you have a firearm in your house in Canada and somebody breaks in your house, you're not allowed to shoot them. You cannot shoot them.
No kidding.
You're not
Wow.
allowed to. What do you do in the States? Pop.
Oh yeah.
You can't wrong house, right?
Well, no, first one's in the ceiling.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
You picked the wrong house. It's like hitting the wall.
I don't know if you could get away with it in Canada if the other person is armed as well.
He was armed. The other guy apparently was armed, but the police still laid the charge.
Because there's that law about not your response has to be equivalent kind of thing. So if it's a knife, it has to be a knife. If they come at you with a bat, you're allowed to use a bat.
If the guy pulled a gun, his response is a gun. And it's like, when you listen, if I've got a gun and someone's pointing a gun at me, I don't know that I wouldn't think twice about pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't move that fast to dodge a bullet, and I have no idea who I'm dealing with on the other end of that gun.
Right.
Yeah. To me, that's life and death.
Yeah, it'd be a scary situation.
Yeah.
Phil, do you have a gun?
Yeah.
And is it like a rifle type gun, or is it like a I'm going to defend myself kind of gun?
A pistol?
I have both. Yeah, I have a handgun and a shotgun.
So where exactly might you keep said things in your house?
Well, he's not going to say that online.
Well, okay, but approximately, like, is it with it?
Give me your passwords to your crypto too. I mean, Jesus,
No.
man.
Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, do you have it on a display in a gun cabinet?
Oh no. They're safe. They're safe away.
Okay,
Yep.
but if they're safe away, but you've got a home intruder coming in,
Mhm.
how do you get to them safe away? If the home
Well,
intruder
the safe away is close to where I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah, it's usually close to your bed or close to somewhere
Yeah.
that's easily accessible. Now, I don't know if this is for transporting purposes in Canada, where you have to transport. I'm going to get this wrong, but someone can correct me. You have to transport the ammunition separately than the firearm.
Yeah, so if you have a firearm, your firearm you have to have the lock on the trigger,
Right. And you have
and
to
the ammunition
transport them
has to be
separately, don't
somewhere
you?
else. So your gun in your trunk, your ammunition in the glove box, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And that's not like that down there, eh?
Oh no, no, no.
No, have you got open carry there?
Yeah, yeah. You used to have a permit. You no longer have to have a permit.
Really?
Yeah,
There's a big issue in the States right now with people going to get a license for the firearm, but you're not required training. You can just
yeah,
go in and get a license, and that's
right.
it. There's no training. It's
Yeah.
up to you. Here's your gun and your ammunition. Now it's up to you to go to a gun range and get trained by a professional.
No, I
But
still
it's
think you
not
need some kind of a
required,
certificate.
right? But in
Well, that was
Canada,
like
that stuff
that's
is
like
required
a couple
for
of
you to
years
get your gun.
ago in the news was Georgia. I think it was Georgia, and Georgia was basically saying it's your rite of passage when you turn 15 or 16. Here's your license. Same deal.
Wow.
Same deal.
Hmm.
Except the chances of you getting killed by a car a lot greater than getting killed by a gun, right? I would not want to possess a gun unless I knew how to properly store it, take care of it, shoot it.
Absolutely.
I would not. When I was at, I've shot those rifles when, or we started out. Well, actually, it was a joke. I started out with a staple gun, but we were down at a shooting range in Texas. What
4 years
4 years ago, and it was serious. It was like, here's what you do with the gun. You put the gun down. Here's what you do. You do this. There was someone always by my side doing stuff, right? And it was like, okay, there is a process. They're serious about this stuff, and I respect it. And that's showing respect, right? Like, I mean, it's like respect what you're using because
Mhm.
this is, I mean, if you've and I shot, what was it? The biggest gun we escalated up to, got into a shotgun. We got into something something, and then I ended up with an AR-15. Holy shite! Oh, I'll tell you, the AR-15.
Is that like a big rifly thing?
Well, it's what all of these mass murderers use, or mass, people, and it's big, it's powerful, and I, I guess, it just immediately I thought, what damage this can do, and
Yeah.
how powerful it is, how powerful this thing is, and if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're not mentally straight and you just pull the trigger and point, I can see how all the damage gets done.
I know, but why would they be selling that in the like? What would be the
Because they
purpose of
can.
that?
Because that's the Constitution down there, isn't it?
Yes.
Right to bear arms.
Absolutely.
I don't think. Well, I mean, unless you get into some crazy stuff, but Phil, I don't think that they restrict you from much down there, do they? I mean, it might be state to state.
Yeah, it's state to state, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
there's
I mean,
different sides for some
if you
states.
have
serious.
a
Yeah.
criminal record or something like that, it's very difficult for you to be able to have a handgun or any type of firearm.
And that's it. Hey Ken, did you see? I mean, that's just like it's regulation. And did you see that? Was I talking to you about this? No, who was I talking to? And it's now the government of Canada, or not the government of Canada. Some government agency is now actually backing off the cannabis trade, and reducing their prices because they're finding that competition is too fierce from the black market.
Oh, the
Funny.
the OCS, right,
That's it.
which is the governing body that the dispensaries in Ontario have to buy their cannabis from, which is the government. They're reducing the amount that they're charging the dispensaries so that the dispensaries can actually make more of a profit. Because the issue is, yeah, the black market in Canada, i.e., native reserves, the cannabis is so cheap that these legal stores can't compete with it. They can't. And I can see why. You go to a native reserve here, you can get an ounce of cannabis for $50.
Oh, they charge a ridiculous amount for it here anyway.
You know,
So,
What do you mean? Too much?
How many?
oh
A
yeah,
lot, or a lot, or a
they
little?
charge a lot here. A
Oh,
lot.
do they? At a regulated place?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Really?
Okay,
Yeah.
but okay, so let's go back to an ounce of cannabis at $50. How much is that? Like, what does that look like? Is it like this
10
much?
ounce, 28
10 ounce.
grams.
Yeah.
So how much of that do you smoke or utilize? Like how much?
How many joints would that make?
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoops.
it depends
Depends on
on
how big you roll them.
right.
Okay.
Right? If you're rolling
Average
blunt,
size.
or-
Average size when we were growing up. Well, okay, maybe.
Okay, well, your average size.
Comparable cigarette size.
Probably get 3 to a gram.
Yeah.
3
How
joints,
many
and there's
grams?
28 grams to an ounce.
Okay. So you're getting 9. 9
What's
joints.
that?
You're getting 9 joints for $50 approximately.
Oh no, it'd be more than that. More than 9
Yeah,
joints.
28 grams. You get 28 grams in an
28
ounce.
grams.
So the average is 3 ounces. So 20.
No, you get 3 joints per gram.
Oh, per gram. Pardon me. Pardon me.
Yeah.
100, 150, somewhere in there, depending on the size.
Okay.
So that's 84.
Well, when all of this hit the fan up here, Phil, there was all of these licensing and licensed producers and stuff, and people were going and buying up old florist warehouses and growing fields and stuff like that. And one of the biggest ones was I think it was down in Belleville or something like that. It was called Canopy Growth. And Canopy Growth, it just saw it in the news. It was, and this may be old news, but I just caught it, is now pulling out of the town because no business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, when you're allowed to grow it yourself,
Right.
Yeah.
right? 4
Right.
plants per household as recreational. You
Yeah.
can grow more if you have a medical card.
Well, how long?
Okay, so can I have a question then? If you grow, you're getting the buds. How many?
The seeds.
Well, yeah. So
You grow
how
from the
much are
seed.
you able to capture from one plant?
Harvest.
It just
Depends how
depends
you
on how you
grow it.
grow it.
So
1
how
to 3
long?
pounds.
Hot 3 pounds from a plant?
Oh
1 to
yeah.
3, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
I got just under. I threw a plant out back just for the hell of it, and I got just under a pound. It was 7 foot tall, and I got just under a pound.
So for example, when might one plant this? What month?
May 2-4, the normal flowering cycle.
Okay. And when would it be mature enough to harvest?
Depending on the weather, October, November.
Okay.
Sometimes even in December. It all depends on the weather.
Okay.
And when the buds are ready.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta check.
But you still have to take it off, and it has to go through a drying process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like you dry it up like herbs, right? You hang it and it dries. Is that what you do? You hang it and it dries?
Yeah, and then you cure it in glass jars, or you can cure it in bags, turkey bags, and all that. There's different ways.
How is the THC regulated in that particular plant? Does it depend on, I guess it would be a strain of a seed you've got, right?
Yep.
But it's how, yeah, I guess it's just your understanding that this particular seed is this particular strain.
Yeah,
like
yeah. They normally say this strain is anywhere between this and this.
a THC.
Anywhere between 24% and 31%, 26%, 28%. But if you give it really good nutrients, it could actually be 32%. You give it really crappy nutrients, you might only get like 15%. It all depends on how you grow it. Whether you grow it in the soil, whether you grow hydroponically, right? It all depends on how you grow it. So the better
which is better, the soil or the hydroponic?
Hydroponic, it's really good stuff. Really
is it more natural? Is it more because it's more controlled?
Yeah, because you can dial everything down to the ppms in the water, the ppms in the nutrients, less chance of bugs getting some kind of aphid infection or anything like that, because there's no soil, right? It's soilless, right? So, but you can wreck a grow really quick doing hydroponic if you don't know what you're doing. You can over nute those things and like too much nitrogen and done. So you if you're going to be a grower, start in the soil and learn it that way, and then step up to hydroponics, because hydroponics is like taking care of a baby. You got to be on it all the time. You're always testing it. Yeah, you're always testing the water to make sure your ppms are correct.
So you're just never sure what you're going to get on this show. We talked about Guns and cannabis and
Egg.
Bitcoin, toilet paper. We're all over the map. How's your chickens, Phil?
Doing well.
How many chickens have you got going now?
We're right around 24, 25.
Holy jeez.
And
Yeah,
are they producing eggs every day?
yeah, pretty much.
Nice. And
Yep.
do you feed them something specific to get the kind of taste you want in an egg, or do you just let it be whatever?
No, we just give them their normal grain and whatever they eat outside, insects and stuff.
Yeah. And how do those eggs taste?
Great. You can definitely tell the difference between them and store-bought eggs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep. Are they a dark or orange color?
Yep.
Yep.
Much more richer. Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I read a study about the fact that I don't remember which country it was. I want to say like Norway or something like that. They were testing where they were asking all the citizens to have 3 chickens each in their backyards. And they at a minimum of 3, and then a maximum depending on the size of the yard. And they were saying that because they were taking kitchen scraps and feeding them to the chicken, it diverted I can't even remember how many tons into the landfill by diverting this chicken scraps into the yards. And then the eggs coming out, like they were producing eggs. And smart.
They are like goats. They eat everything.
Yeah.
They will eat anything.
Dad, do you worry about coyotes and or even like coyotes are one thing. Coyotes and foxes, do you get them creeping around your coop?
They're around, but we've never had them around the coop that I know of. We've never had any raccoons break in or.
What about rats? I wondered about like rodents type thing getting
we have mice, but I've never seen any rats or anything like that.
Have you dug down and done 90 degrees out with the chicken mesh? So if someone does dig, they can't get in?
No, nope. It's just down to the ground.
That's what they do at commercial farms. They go down, like I want to say 15, like far.
Oh yeah, fox will dig underneath the fence. Or they try to.
Right, so that's why they go deep down,
Yeah.
and they put the fencing down, and then they angle it out so that the fox can't get in.
Yeah.
Hey, I hear you're getting a raise.
Who?
You.
Me.
I thought it was in the paper that Home Depot's investing like over $1 billion in.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's so competitive to keep people, and a lot of the comments were that it's like, well, we're in a decline and stuff like that, and it's like all the more reason for us to keep our employees.
Yeah, it's like I don't get it, man. It's like there's hardly anybody in these stores. I've been bored to death the past few days.
Oh, are you?
Oh yeah,
Well, it could be the weather.
Well, that has a lot to do with it too. Yeah.
And you're coming in. When's your tax time?
It's right around now. People should be getting their returns right around now, or starting to.
Okay, so then you may see an increase, and with weather and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because you're in what department?
The appliances.
Appliances, right?
Yeah.
What's the best washer?
I would go with an LG. Stay away from Samsung.
Oh,
really?
That's what I'm hearing.
Those computer boards are brutal.
There's so many of the customers do nothing but complain about after they buy a Samsung.
Now,
and their biggest complaint is dealing with their customer service. It's horrible.
Okay, Phil, is it true that a lot of people are going back to top load?
Yes. That it. I'm not exactly sure, but they're not really happy with the front loads. I guess the bearings and stuff go out on them pretty fast.
I'm trying to think about the top load. They don't necessarily. I mean, don't you have more of a variety with top loads that are non sort of computer boards compared to the front loads, which are more computer boards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does seem like all the front loads they have a lot of circuitry to them. Seems like.
Yeah. I'll never forget when we moved into Kitchener. Oh God, 4 years ago, I bought I forget the brand, but the dryer was a ventless. Oh my God, never get a ventless dryer.
Yeah.
Never get a ventless dryer.
It never dried anything.
It never stopped, and then it would
Oh,
have.
no kidding.
And
Oh,
do you sell? So I saw, and I don't know how they work. Do you sell the ones that are a washer and dryer in one?
a washer and dryer. You know, I do think I recall seeing something like that.
It's all one appliance, right? You don't even take the clothes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that's the craziest thing. That just totally goes against. I mean, that's like when we had some fancy dryer. Oh God, years ago at one of the houses, the dryer actually had a small. It was like a line that goes into your water maker or your ice maker, going into the back of the dryer for steaming purposes. And
Yeah. Yep. We
what
have
are you
one. We have
doing
those.
using electrical and water?
Yeah, we have those.
God Almighty! And so are they? I know back in my day when I used to deliver appliances between when I was going to college, big appliances were gas. Is gas like gas dryer, gas range, and stuff like that? Are they still big or are they teetering off?
Um, Actually, it seems like gas ranges. We sell quite a few of those.
Really?
Yeah, but as far as like the washer and dryers, very seldom somebody will buy like a gas dryer. That's it. Not very often.
Hmm.
Majority is electric.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so important that you level those bloody things. Holy Toledo.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought it was chasing me down the hall one day.
Well,
Well, I'm glad to hear you're having fun.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's good. So what do you guys got on this week? Ken, you going to be having your live stream on Friday night?
Yeah, on Friday, I am going to cache my reflections from BTCF and from BMT and see how much Rapmatic and how much Rap Bitcoin I get.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Good.
so you do all of that, and then all your buddies pop in. Jordan pops in, and Phil pops in.
Yep.
And how's Jordan doing? Still blowing glass?
As far as I know, yeah.
That's
I think
good.
Bonnie was in here.
Bonnie was in earlier. We said hi to her.
Yes, I know.
Well, that's good. And you haven't seen Andrew in a while, so you don't know how he's doing.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him either.
I see. I think he
haven't
took
seen him on
shrooms and he
Facebook.
got lost. I really do.
Alive.
Oh
Well, he
man.
probably took shrooms, and we have an old tunnel down here, an old train track tunnel. He probably went in there and he just
Oh,
got
jeez.
lost.
Thought it was the Lord and it was a train coming at him.
How do you get lost in a tunnel?
Wrong way. Run, man, run.
Oh
We
Lord.
also we have other tunnels that go to the States too, right? So,
Oh,
maybe he wandered into one of them, and then they were like, "Yeah, we see you on the CTV. We're gonna be there in a minute."
welcome to Mexico. Hello, say hello to my little friend.
Oh Lord. Lord.
Oh,
Well,
you know.
you know what? I think we'll start to wrap this up. I got my shingles shot today. I'm feeling slightly like I want to go and lie down.
Does that mean the roof's on fire?
Not those kind of shingles. I'm trying to avoid those at all costs. And if you're over 50 and you haven't got it, you should think about it. I've had a bunch of friends get it recently, and I'm like, eesh.
It's no fun. I had caught it a few years ago.
No.
It's no fun at all.
No, it can make a grown man cry, I've heard.
My doctor, when I went to the doctor to find out what it was, he told me it was shingles. And he asked me, he's like, "Do you want any pain meds?" I was like, "Oh no, I'm fine." You know, he's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." The next morning, when I called, his wife laughed at me. She was expecting me to call. It is amazing how bad it hurts. It's like every little tiny nerve in your skin is just excruciating.
Yeah. No, I did shot number 1. Pharmacist told me to take a couple of Tylenol, which I did. I felt a little headachy after I got it. And then they said, yeah, it might hit you a little later on. But then he said this one's not so bad. That's the second shot you have to have that packs the big wallop. And but you know what? Here's me. I was so not a big vaccine person, but I watched I had 3 friends, boom, 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 get shingles, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to vaccinate against that. I do not want that. One had it in her eye. She couldn't even see. Months. It would not leave her eye. I was like,
wow.
oh my God, no, 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 I do not want this.
Wow.
And apparently, if you've had chickenpox as a child, we're more susceptible to getting shingles. You would
Right.
think it was the exact opposite. You got it, you're kind of immune to it. No, no, no,
Nope.
no, no, apparently not.
Like it mutates and comes back at you.
So, anyways, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Phil. It was good to
Hey,
see you. I
yeah.
feel like
Yeah, you
it's been a
too.
long time.
Yeah.
And Ken, as always, riveting conversation. Hope to see Candace soon. And for everybody that stuck it out through our toilet paper conversations, our cannabis, our washing machine we're all over the map these days. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. And we will see you next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Take care, everybody.
Night,
See ya.
guys.
Good night.